Hello learners, I'm teacher Brian from Greenview Schools, Kamulu. I'm going to take you through grade 4 mathematics. Welcome. Today we're going to learn about division. The stand is numbers. The substand is division. Under division, we're going to learn about dividing up to a digit number. When we say a 2-digit number, this is a 2-digit number. For example, 24. That is a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number. Sign for division is this one, by a 1-digit number. For example, we have 4. So we're going to deal with a 2-digit number by 1-digit number. But before we go to that, let us remind ourselves of what we've learned in grade 3. We learned that division is repeated subtraction. Division is repeated subtraction. Let us have 2 examples. Example 1, we have 20 divided by 4. We've learned that we're going to subtract 4 many times until we get that our answer is 0. Let's start by subtracting 20, subtract 4. 20 subtract 4 is 16. Then you take your 16, you subtract 4 again, and you get your answer is 12. Then you say 12 subtract 4, your answer will be 8. Then 8 subtract 4, the answer is 4. You take your 4, subtract 4, the answer is 0. Then you count the number of 4's here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer is 5. 20 divided by 4 is 5. By using repeated subtraction. That is what you've learned in grade 3. Now, let's come to grade 4. In grade 4, we're going to use a different method known as the long method, the long division method. Long division method. And we have some terms that we're going to use when you are using this method. We have these terms. We have a divisor. We have dividend. We have quotient. And then we have the remainder. Let us know the meaning of these words. We have the divisor. For example, 21 divided by 5. The divisor is 5. Now, what is a divisor? We say a divisor is a number that a number is to be divided by. It's a number that another number is to be divided by. For example, we have 42 divided by 3. The divisor is 3. Then we have the dividend. That is 21. A dividend is a number that is to be divided by another. We are using the same example. 42 divided by 3, the dividend is 42. And then we have the quotient. Quotient is now the answer. After dividing and you get the answer, that is the quotient. And then we have the last part is the remainder. The remainder is a number left after subtraction. Now let us have 3 examples here using the long division or using the long method. Example number 1, we have 84 divided by 7. 84 divided by 7. And we have steps that we should follow. Steps. And I have a mnemonic here. We say dirty monkeys smell bad. Dirty monkeys smell bad. Dirty monkeys smell bad. D stands for division. We have to divide first of all. And M stands for multiplication. We're going to do multiplication for us to get an answer. And then we're going to do subtraction. As you've learned in grade 3, that division is the repeated subtraction. And the last one is bringing down. We're going to learn these steps as we're going down. So let's start by dividing. You ask yourself, how many times does 7 goes to 8? How many times does 7 goes to 8? Consider this number and this one. 7 is the divisor. 8 is the dividend. If you find that the dividend is bigger than the divisor, then you start dealing with the first digit number. Now 8 is bigger than 8 is bigger than 7. So what do? We have to do the multiplication. We find how many times that 7 goes to 8. I think you still remember the multiplication fact. Start by 7, multiply by 1, the answer is 7. Then we say 7 multiplied by 2, the answer is 14. So which number do we pick? The number you should pick should be exactly 8 or nearest to 8. That is based on the multiples of 7. So we're going to pick 1 as our answer. So the answer is 1. The quotient is 1. Where do we place a 1? We don't place 1 here because we are dealing with 8. So we put 1 here. So 7, now are we following multiplication? 7 times 1, the answer is 7. So where do we put our 7? We put our 7 below 8. Then we do what? We subtract. So we subtract. 8 subtract 7, the answer is 1. We are following this mnemonic. So the fourth step is we do what? We bring down. What are we bringing down? We're bringing down 4. Then will be 14. Now you should ask yourself, how many times does 7 goes to 14? How many times does 7 goes to 14? We've seen that 7 multiplied by 2, the answer is 14. So we write 2 above. Your numbers should align. So 2 times 7, the answer is 14. So what do? We subtract. And the answer, the remainder is 0. So our answer is 12. That is the first example. You follow the steps. Division, multiplication, subtraction, and we bring down. Example number 2. Example 2, we have 30 divided by 5. So we say 30 divided by 5. So what do you do? Step number 1, ask yourself, how many times does 5 get to 3? And the answer is impossible. Why? The dividend is smaller than the divisor. So what do you do when the dividend is smaller than the divisor? We go to the next number, and our number will be now 30. So you ask yourself, how many times does 5 get to 30? So what do? We find the multiples of 5 that are nearer to that, or should be exactly that. So by multiplying, we say 5 times 1 is 5. 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. Then 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. Then we have 5 multiplied by 5, the answer is 25. 5 multiplied by 6, the answer is 30. You see, our answer is 30. So multiplication, 5 times 6. So we write our 6 above 0, not above, because our last number to be considered is 0. So we write 6 above 0. And our answer will be 30. Subtract, our remainder is 0. So our answer is 6. So you should know that when you find that the dividend is smaller than the divisor, you go for the second number and you combine the two numbers. And the first number should be, your answer should be above the second number to be considered. You keep that in mind. Last example, that is word problem. Our last example is a word problem. We say a class has 72 pupils. Class has 72 pupils. If they were divided into groups of 8, how many groups were formed? So here we have 72 pupils. And they were divided into groups of 8. So what are we going to do? We are going to divide 72 by 8. Remember, 8 is the divisor. 72 is the dividend. So we say 72 divided by 8. 72 divided by 8. Consider the first digit number. This number is smaller than this. So what do? We combine the two numbers and we say, you ask yourself, how many times does 8 get to 72? We find the multiples of 8. 8 multiplied by 1 is 8. 8 multiplied by 3 is 24. 8 multiplied by 4 is 32. Then 8 multiplied by 5, answer is 40. Then 8 multiplied by 6 is 48. Then 8 multiplied by 7, the answer is 56. 8 multiplied by 8, the answer is 64. 8 multiplied by 9, the answer is 72. So how many times does 8 get to 72? It's 9 times. So where do we write our 9? We write our 9 above 2. Because the last number to be considered is 2. So 9 multiplied by 8 is 72. What do? We subtract. And we get the remainder as 0. So our answer is 9. Learners, you should learn all these methods. You should learn the mnemonic, dirty monkeys smell bad. You follow the procedure. So before we conclude our lesson, I have some extended activity for you here. Number 1, you should work out 87 divided by 5. We have 39 divided by 4. You just follow the procedure that you followed when you are doing these examples. Then number 2, you've been told a doctor had 96 tablets of medicine. She shared the medicine equally to 8 patients. How many tablets did each get? And number 3, during an agriculture lesson, learners had 35 liters of water. They water equally 7 fruit plants. How many liters of water did each plant get? So that is the extended activity. And learners, today we've learned many things. You've learned the terms that are being used in division. You've learned that there is divisor, there is dividend, there is remainder, and then there is quotient. You've also learned about the steps to be followed when you're doing the long division. So that brings us to the end of our lessons. Learners, I hope you've enjoyed it. Till we meet again, I've been your teacher, Teacher Brian.